So, Mr. Bobby, you chose the topic of community. Why is that?
Well, because I'm always in the community, always trying to do things and educate our young and give them some things that they're sometimes not always getting,
Mm-hmm.
from their parents.
Right.
It's too often that parents sometimes try to not be uh, parents,
Mm,
so that it can happen that way. We live in a day and time where social media kind of rules and runs everything.
sure does. Yes.
So that's the kind of a climate that we're living up under. It used
Mm,
to be a time when you did know your neighbors and you knew what was going on in the community, and that's not actually happening now like it used to.
Welcome to the Sweet Taboos podcast. This is your favorite mother-daughter duo, Ayan and Tiffany.
We are bringing the sweetness to taboo topics. Stay tuned.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Sweet Taboos podcast. Good evening to you all. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Bobby Eden. He is the CEO of Eden Media Services. He is a former bassist for famous artists like Tina Turner, Natalie Cole. There we go. And Bobby Womack, and many more. Hey, Mr. Bobby, good evening.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Hey,
So
what's
good to
going on with
see you.
you? Good to
It
see you guys.
is good to see you. We haven't seen you in a few months, but now we're in 2026. How you feeling?
Oh, feeling pretty good. Just hey, day to day, working, just staying busy, and
Yes,
doing what I do.
that's the
Hmm.
best thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. What's
Stay
the name?
busy.
Stay busy.
Before we hop into the topic, I just want to share my sweets for the evening. I don't know about y'all, but I get a sweet tooth at night right before it's time to go to bed. So
Do
I got
you?
my little Smartie, yeah, and some hot tea. You can't go wrong with hot tea,
Yeah,
get me ready
okay, okay,
for the evening.
okay.
So, Mr. Bobby, you chose the topic of community. Why is that?
Well, because I'm always in the community, always trying to do things and educate our young and give them some things that they're sometimes not always getting,
Mm-hmm.
from their parents.
Right.
It's too often that parents sometimes try to not be uh, parents,
Mm,
so that it can happen that way. We live in a day and time where social media kind of rules and runs everything.
sure does. Yes.
So that's the kind of a climate that we're living up under. It used
Mm.
to be a time when you did know your neighbors and you knew what was going on in the community, and that's not actually happening now like it used to.
Mm. I love your perspective on community because you saw the world change in different ways. So I feel like you have a unique perspective on community. So if you could tell us a little bit more about what the community used to look like, what it
Well,
used to feel like.
look, if you ask me, and if I'm going to tell the truth, I think we as African American people were probably more unified in the '60s than we are today.
Mhm.
And the reason I said that is because we had more programs for African American people. Everybody knew everybody in the community. The churches were more unified back in those days.
Right.
And you just had a sense of unity because you didn't have to lock your cars up. You didn't have to lock your house up. You didn't have none of that. And now we got all the security measures. You got bars on the windows and cameras everywhere. You just got to be careful where you go and who you talk to and things of that nature. The climate is totally different, way different. And plus in the during those periods in the '60s, I was a little boy. I was
Mhm.
young. I was a little boy, but I saw those elders go out into the community and they would do things unified together. They would do things. If a guy was cutting up in at his house, down the street, uh, like jumping on his wife or something like that, those
Mm.
men in the community would go down there and address him, you know, get
As
him
they
right.
should.
Yeah, as they should, and they wouldn't have to call the police. You know,
Mhm.
they wouldn't have to call the police at all because The, com-
Mm.
the community would address it.
Mhm.
My family had a family barber shop over here on Norfolk, which is not far from here. It's a historical barber shop. And the situation was that my grandfather was down on Greenwood during the massacre, the 1921 massacre. He was a young
Mhm.
boy in there, shining shoes and cutting hair down there in
Mm.
1921. When the massacre took place, he came over on Norfolk over here and he built a house. Right next to the house, he built a duplex, which had a community barber shop in it on one
Mhm.
side, and he had a empty space on the other side. And if you wanted to open up a business and you were in the family, you could go to Grandpa and say, "Grandpa, can I use the other side of the barber shop right here?" And he'd say, "What kind of business you opening up?" And you tell him, and then you just would open it up. He'd say yes or no. So that
Mhm.
other side, there had been so many businesses. My dad had a business over there. My uncle had a photography studio over there. My cousin had a boutique shop over there. And I started my radio station over there when I came back to Tulsa. And
Mhm.
I lived in the family house right next door. And
That's good.
it it was so much. Well, that family house was a place when Grandma and Grandpa were in that house. We never did change out the house. We left it just like it was.
Okay.
It,
No updates or anything?
we left it just like it was when they were living there. The
Mm.
piano is in there, the chandelier is in there, the old antique furniture and everything was just like it is. And when you came home, no matter what family member you were, we didn't have to check in no hotels or nothing like that because just go to the family house. You know what I mean? And you could be in the family house, hang out there, and everybody come over to the family house, and that's what it was. It was about family, you
Mhm.
know. Uh,
It's
well,
definitely
since
shifted.
yeah, since then things have gone. The house has deteriorated
Mm.
and it's pretty rough shape right now. And my father's in the midst of selling the property, and it's not being passed down, So,
Mm.
okay, it's his. He can do what he wants to with it. You know what I mean? It's his to do
I
whatever
see.
he wants to with it. And
Mm.
but the family unity was something that was so unique. Don't you know my grandmother would she say, "Bobby, come here. Go down to Mr. Alexander's store. Go down there and give me 2 eggs and some milk and give me some flour and come on back." So I'd run on down there to Mr. Alexander's store. "Mr. Alexander, Grandma want 2 eggs, some flour, and some milk." He would pull out his tablet, he pull out his tablet and he'd write it on down on a piece of paper and give it to me. And I'd run back up to, "Here you go, Grandma," and drop it off. Because he knew that he knew that come Friday, Grandma was gonna pay off the bill. That was the unity in the community part. You know,
Mm.
it was something that happened back in those days. Now today we don't have that. We don't have nothing like that. The churches are so divided. They are so divided now. They're separate. The
Mm.
churches do Sunday morning service and Wednesday night Bible study, and that's about the size of it for most churches in our community here in District 1, which is Tulsa, Oklahoma, North Tulsa.
Mm.
And we have over 200 churches in our district. 200.
That's a
That's a
lot.
lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot. And out of 200 churches, you probably got a good 5 to 10 of them that actually do what I call community work for community.
Mm.
And the rest of them just don't do nothing. They don't do nothing. I visit a lot of churches. I go on Sundays and I go visit this church, go visit that church, go
Mhm.
visit that church, and I sit in the back and I want to hear what they have to say. And one thing that I do not like is to go visit a church, sit in the back, and the pastor's up there in the pulpit. "Oh, we got Bobby Eaton in the back. Bobby, how you doing?" I just, I don't like that. You know what I mean?
Mm. The
I just,
spotlight.
I don't like that spotlight stuff. I'm
Mm.
coming to hear a word and seeing what you preaching about. What are you teaching about? And there's a sense of some churches are not teaching. They're preaching, but they're not teaching.
Preaching, but not teaching.
Preaching, but not teaching. See, you got to teach a community how to go about doing stuff. You got to teach young African American men and women how to love each other and come together and start a family and do what's right, not what you think is right, but what's right. You know, there comes a big responsibility when you decide to unite as a people, as a couple. Big responsibility. It can't be lopsided where this person doing everything and you're not doing nothing over here. You know, you got to balance that thing out and put that thing together, you know, so you can have that unity in the community. You know, so set yourself as an example. You know, so we're being led so much by social media today, like young people are. I'm just gonna put it. I mean, social media runs everything basically, and they're being raised with social media.
Yes.
They're actually being raised with social media. They don't look at their mother, father, or their grandparents for any type of direction as far as going forward. So they're raised with social media and they're on PlayStations, things like that. The average young person, I can pick up my phone and call them and they won't answer the phone. It's going to go
That's a
straight
trend.
it's going to go straight to voicemail.
There's some
And that's
fundamentals that we're missing from the society today.
social skills is what we're missing. We're missing social skills. Our social skills I'm a senior, and as we pass on and move on, the next generations have to be careful because if you don't have any social skills, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, you know. Yeah.
You getting real, Bobby. And a lot of what I've heard you say in this first portion is there was more authenticity and there was accountability to each other. When you say your grandmother sent you down to go get the necessities and they knew that, hey, I'll get with you Friday because we had this accountability, this schedule, this community. I love how you're able to, I think your generation was the last generation to get those fundamentals of community. And I think our generations today are thirsty for that community that you talk about.
And I wonder if they really are thirsty. You know,
I am.
Yeah, I know you are. You're one of the small percentage of younger people are really thirsty for it. A lot of young people will say, "Oh, that's back in them days. Them was old days. I ain't doing that no more. This is what's going on today in 2026, and this is what blah blah blah." That old man don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Some people actually look at you like that. What up, school? Hey, school. You know what I mean? And they'll address you like that. But when you try to share that wisdom and that knowledge with them, then, you know, if they don't listen to you, then you just have to move on. You know, you just have to go and move on to those who will listen.
Yeah.
So I try to deal with those who will listen. You know, if you listen, I got something to tell you. Let me tell you something. You know what I mean? Because I've told young people what the outcome is going to be if they do this. And look here, you do this and you do that. This is what's going to happen. Okay. They come back. Well, I told you what was going to happen. You know, I told you. I gave you an advance notice of what was going to happen. But you went on and did it anyway. So I was young too at one time. You know, I was a very young man, and they told me the same thing. You know, Bobby, don't do this, don't do that. I go and do it, same results, you know. So we have to be aware. You know, nothing comes to sleepers but a dream.
Hold on. We got to marinate on that one. Hold on. What? Say that again.
I say nothing comes to sleepers but a dream.
Ooh, nothing comes to sleepers. So let me write that down. Mr. Bobby.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I got some questions for you because you dropping gems. Are we creating communities that prioritize comfort or growth?
You want me to be honest, right?
Please. We want the truth. We want authenticity all the way, the raw, real talk, because that's what we're missing in the society now.
I believe that some African Americans slip through the cracks and they're able to stay next door to Mr. Westmeyer. And they call that growth, right?
And we
They call
okay.
it growth. They never come back into their community. They were
I
born.
see.
They were born in a little shack house over here in North Tulsa, but they never come back to the
Mm,
community. So then you think you have
mm,
grown, you know,
mm-hmm.
you,
Yeah.
oh, hey man, I got somebody cutting my grass now. I don't have to, the lawn man is coming out to cut the grass, and I don't have to push the lawnmower no more.
Mm,
Whereas sometimes we have forgotten our morals and our standards and what it takes to become family. See, we're still enslaved upon the systematic control, but we can't.
indeed.
We're blind. We're blind. We can't even see how the system is still controlling us in the narrative of us. When I sit,
Mm,
when I sit back,
Bobby,
huh?
you ruffling feathers. Keep going. There's a moth in here. Don't mind the moth. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Is he running around? He probably listening. But I put it I put it like this. When we're not aware and we're not awoke and we can't see what our forefathers and ancestors have done for us because we're standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that was community.
Mm-hmm.
That was community.
Mm.
And as me being one of the elders in the community now, when I was young, I used to say, oh, them old men, them old women. Yeah. An old man came up to me one time when I was about 19, 20 years old, and I was driving a car. And I went over to my friend's house, and right across the street, the old men were in the garage playing cards and dominoes and drinking. And I was getting ready to go in my friend's house. They said, Bobby Jr., come here. I went over there. I said, yeah. And I went in the garage, and all these old men was off in there slamming dominoes, fitting, blah, blah, talking and drinking. And one old man came, and he got in my face.
In
Said,
your
Bobby,
face.
he got in my face like this. He said, Bobby Jr. He said, how old are you? I think I said 19, 20, whatever I was. He got in my face like that. He said, look in my eyes. And I saw those cataracts in his eyes. He said, you keep on living. An old man is coming.
Mm.
And today, I said, wow, that old man is here.
Wow.
I said, that old man is here today. And at 71, I tried to stay focused and try to help people and share with people my life experiences.
Mm-hmm. That's the point.
And
That our story is for other people.
there's stories for other people to learn and for other people to become aware, to do
Mm-hmm.
things, to help one another. Because you don't want to leave the planet without helping somebody. Think about it. We have money in our community.
We
It's not
do.
it's not like our community is poor and just broke down. There's a lot of money. We got a lot of people who retired from the post office, American Airlines, City of Tulsa. They're getting their pension funds at 501 or whatever you name it. They're getting it. The 401, they getting there. The Social Security, military. They went to the military. They're living up in Gilcrease Hills, and they got them big old houses and all that stuff and all that money in the bank, and they don't do nothing to help nobody do nothing. They're empty nesters, and they're sitting up in those houses, and they don't do nothing to help a damn soul. They don't do nothing. Think about it. They drive their nice big old cars, ride around, and they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing. I went to a homeowners association meeting up there, and I talked to all of them. I said, y'all don't do nothing.
You gave them the real deal in person. You gave them the
You know,
real, authentic Bobby.
I've been where I've been in a ministers alliance, table full of 10 to 12 pastors around the table, and I'm the only one not in there. When I first started my radio station, and I was needing some help, HELP, on getting my radio station started. And so they talked their business, and I was sitting there, and they said, well, hey, we got Mr. Bobby Eden here. he's got a presentation for you guys. I stood up and did my presentation. I'm needing some funding. I'm trying to buy a transmitter for my company, and this could help your churches. This could help you out, and this could blah blah. I did my little spiel, and I passed out my cards and all of my business stuff to all of them. And don't you know, I didn't get one call, not from one church, to help me with that. And that just fueled my fire. That really fueled my fire to go ahead and go forward and to see. Don't never tell me I can't do something or don't do it. I'm gonna go.
That
Let
makes you
me
want
tell
to
you
do it
what,
even more.
I grind hard. I'm a hard grinding black man. And I take those with me who go with me, so therefore when that happens, I just grind. I put it up because I understand those people before me, they were grinding.
Mm-hmm.
They were grinding hard. I remember in that barbershop that I'm telling y'all about, I used to be a little boy sitting up in that barbershop, and the men in that community, those civil rights men in that community, will come into that barbershop and they be in that barbershop all day and all night, talking that talk. We're gonna go out and protest this place. We're gonna go out and protest that place. We're gonna protest the school board for better books at Booker T. Washington High School. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do. They were plotting and planning because that's where the civil rights movement of Black Tulsa started. Was in that barbershop.
In
And I
your
saw
grandfather's barbershop?
in father's barbershop.
Wow.
My daddy was the first black man to get arrested, and they put him in what they call a paddy wagon and took him off to jail,
Mm.
protesting for civil rights.
Mm.
See, we had
Mm.
that happen here in Tulsa too. We had racist people here in Tulsa, and we still do got some racist people in Tulsa. But as we talking here in 2026,
Yeah.
man, I'm of sound mind to believe until good white people start charging up bad white people, it's going to be still a struggle for us.
Mm.
They have to charge up their negativity. They will go and elect somebody like Trump, and they're not bad white folks. I'm not saying all white people is bad, but the policies, they will just, okay, we're going to go with these policies that they're putting out there. Those policies don't benefit us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People. They don't
That's
benefit
true.
us. They don't benefit. The policies don't benefit us. But they'll put us on WIC. They'll put us on Section 8. They'll put us on all these programs and think it's okay to get you on these programs and getting all their food stamps and all of that and keep you systematically governed up under those programs right there. And that's not really helping us at all.
No, that's
You know,
not how you get to self-sufficiency.
you can't get there like that.
No.
Self-sufficiency comes the Black Wall Street way of life. Black Wall Street way of life was, if y'all had a house y'all was building, I'd come over and help you build your house.
Thank you.
When I got free from my job, I'd come over and help you build your house. And if I was building a house, you come over and help me build mine.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Black Wall Street way.
Mm-hmm. Now, Bobby, when we are talking about community, how do you balance community and self-care? There are community members who are in need. We're all in need and need help sometimes. But how do you balance serving the community and then protecting your space and having that self-care time and not over giving and having just those healthy boundaries with community? Because I feel like there's a thin line of giving so much of yourself and energy and resources to community to the point where it's detrimental. So how do you balance that?
Well, I've got being of age, I've got a strong sense of discernment of people.
That's good. You need that.
After having conversations with people, I can kind of almost find out what kind of person you are after the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's find my balance with people.
Mm.
Sometimes, oh man, he jiving. I don't want to eat food with him. Or, oh man, right on. Okay, that sounds good to me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that. No, I don't like that. Uh-uh. And that's where I find my balance right there. You
Mhm.
know, I get my radio station over here, as you guys know, is a networking hub for Black Tulsa. Everybody comes in here. You know, a lady just came in here day before yesterday. I didn't know from a can of paint. She says, Bobby, they told me to come over and talk to you. I need a mechanic because I need to get a mechanic to put some brakes on my car. I said, okay, I call a mechanic. Hey man, got a job for you. Can you put some brakes on this woman's car? Yeah, all right. It's a networking hub. I do things outside of just talk on the radio. You know, I do things to help people, you know, and as I do that, I find the balance, you
Mm.
know, between myself because I gotta watch it because, you know, sometimes doctors tell me don't stress out. You know, Bobby, take it easy, kick back, you know, don't put yourself out there. But my heart have me just wanting to do for people.
I know, that's what I'm
It just
saying. How do we keep that balance? And I love how you are the epitome of community, and your business is the networking hub in Black Tulsa, and we're so grateful for people like you and organizations like yours. Now, my next question is, has Sweet Taboos written all over it?
okay.
How do we hold space for uncomfortable conversations and difficult emotions? And did you have something, Miss Tiffany? Yeah. How do we hold space for uncomfortable conversations and difficult emotions? Mm.
That's a good question right there.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable is the word.
Yes.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah. Uncomfortable and difficult emotions. Emotions. I feel like it's in our society, a lot of us may be lacking emotional intelligence. So that anger that might be coming out of this person is stemming from somewhere else that they have not yet become aware of. So that's why I asked that question. How do we give people in our community the space to have those uncomfortable conversations? And I feel like
You
an
know,
example would be these stereotypes we have in our community.
yeah, yeah. You know, I think that a lot of us have come from
Yes.
broken homes, and we've had some trauma and
Hmm.
drama
Mm.
and things that carry on even from slavery to today.
Hmm.
And we haven't dealt with those traumas and that toxic energy,
There we go. There we go.
that
Hmm.
toxic energy. And so
Mm.
whenever that toxic energy is in our face, then we display it in a way that is detrimental to us, our growth, and
100%.
it's you've been raised this way. Your mama was an alcoholic, your daddy was a drug addict, your daddy went to prison, and so and so and so, and the list goes on with all of this trauma, and uh how do we overcome any of that? We have to seek counseling, we have to seek therapy. See, therapy used to be a bad thing. That boy
Mhm.
crazy. Back in
Yeah,
my
that
day,
was a taboo
yeah, that
about
was a
10
taboo.
years ago.
Yeah, that boy crazy. He going to see a shrink. You know what I mean? And that was back when I was coming up. That was crazy. You know what I mean? But now today, it's a common thing. It's okay to go get some therapy and to try to heal yourself. You know what
Yes.
I mean? The best that you can do. Try to
Mhm.
network and redo some wrongs. You know what I mean? Move forward and do some do some better things. I'm gonna treat Imma treat this woman better than I did the last one.
Mm.
You get what I'm
Mm.
Imma treat her better.
Mm.
I see where I messed up. I see where I messed up, what I did wrong, and I'm not gonna bring that same old baggage over here into this new relationship, and that's vice versa for women to men, men to women,
Right.
so we have to get back to loving one another. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. We have to
Mhm.
get back to what LOVE. We got to get back to love because love comes from the heart.
Yep.
And then when you can love your fellow man or your fellow sister or something like that, it makes the world a little bit easier place to live in. You know what I mean?
That's true.
When you can put those type of people in your circle, you can put them in your circle. I've had to kick some people out of my circle, because
That's part of life.
they're part of life and they're toxic, and I don't want to hear all that all that jibber jabber and all that every day, every time you're talking to them. So hey, wait a minute, I gotta do away with that. What are we doing to go up? I'm trying to go up. I'm trying to go somewhere. You know what I mean? And you ain't trying to go there. You just trying to be right here with all of that. A lot of times we still carry on that slave mentality in our community, and those slave ways in our community, and we can't get past that mentality. We don't even realize we're still in that slave mentality.
Hmm.
Because how can you know where to go forward if you don't know where you come from?
That part. We must know history so that we do not repeat it.
We don't repeat it. I'm looking at us right now. We're here in America,
Mhm.
a bouquet of flowers. We're all shades and colors, here in America. We're like a big
Mhm.
bouquet of flowers. And you gotta
Yeah.
water those flowers and get down to the root of those flowers because that melanin had been distorted, doing on slave ships from that
Mhm.
slave trade and stuff.
Mm.
And we've been mentally brainwashed about the Bible, to me, you know what I mean, and what it's all about.
Mm.
See, reason I said that because I was a Bible thumper at one time. And once we educate ourselves, we have today the easiest resources to get the most information that we need.
Yes.
The internet is a beast.
Yeah.
Now you got
100%.
AI. You got AI on there now. We going into a whole nother dimension. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
That's true.
So we got AI going now. So we got Meta, AI, all of this other stuff coming into play. And if you can get you can get you a degree on this.
You sure can.
You
That's a
can
part
get
of
you a
the
whole,
digital
you
era.
can get a whole degree on this thing right here. So you got to take advantage of what you
Right.
got to go for good.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Bobby, for giving the context, because that's, again, a lot of what we're missing, the context, the history. So as we've gone through the history, I'm so glad that you can share the fundamentals of community with
I
us
hate
because
to.
that is
Oh,
missing.
you like? Hey, Miss Tiffany.
Oh, okay. Technology boy. So yeah, like I was saying,
Technology.
Mr. Bobby, you are a wealth of knowledge, and we are so grateful to have you on tonight for our first 2026 evening podcast. What is a takeaway that you'd like to leave with our listeners and viewers?
Takeaway is this: love your brother and love your sister. That's a big takeaway. We have to get back to loving it. We just got to do it because without love, you can't grow. You can be
That's
the
true.
strongest person, strong and all of this and hard and all of that. But if you don't have no love in your heart, how can you grow?
That's
So let's
true.
get back to loving one another again. Let's stop the shooting. Let's stop the drugging. Let's stop all of the stuff that's systematically keeping us bound and keeping us down.
Right.
Because it's not us. It's not us that's doing it. It's not us. It's we participating in what's given to us.
Right. Accountability
To our
is definitely a
neighborhood.
part of it.
Accountability.
Yes.
When they bring all that drugs and all that in our neighborhoods and give it to JoJo and them and tell them to go out and sell it, that's what happens.
Yeah, we have to do better.
We don't have no boats, no planes, no boats, no planes, no trains
Mm.
to import nothing. We don't make no guns. We don't manufacture no guns. Black people just don't do these things. We don't have it. Smith and Wesson is not of us,
As how can we connect with you and support you in your business?
Well, I have the radio station here, KBOB 89.9 FM, which is located at 1216 North Lansing, Suite number D. I'm here most of the time. My number is, I'm going to give out my phone number, okay?
Yeah.
Straight here, 32 832-443-9499. Again, that number is 832-443-9499. Call me anytime. eatmusic2@gmail.com. Email me, text me, call me, stop by, and I'm always open to have a conversation with those who want to have a conversation with me.
You're fantastic, Mr. Bobby, and we hope you have a blessed 2026.
All right. I love y'all. You know I do.
Yes, we love you too. Thank you for coming to the Sweet Taboos podcast. And thank you all for stopping by and joining in this wealth of knowledge. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment what your thoughts are. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Okay.